The man mistakenly deported from Maryland to El Salvador returns to the U.S. to face human trafficking charges.
We're here today to announce a major update in an important case. Abrego Garcia has landed in the United States to face justice.
Donald Trump says Elon Musk has, quote, lost his mind as the fallout between the U.S. president and the world's richest man rumbles on. And the BBC investigates a controversial US and Israel-backed aid foundation that says that it has handed out 1 million meals to people in Gaza. And finally, a new study has found that cutting off a rhino's horn is the most effective and economical method of deterring poachers. A conservation assessment in South Africa found that removing the horn under sedation, which doesn't harm the animal, reduced poaching by nearly 80% between 2017 and 2023. Now, rhinos are at significant threat of extinction, and it's the material in their horns which puts them at risk, which is commonly used for traditional medicine in China, Vietnam and other Asian countries. Canada's Prime Minister Mark Carney has formally invited his Indian counterpart Narendra Modi to attend the upcoming G7 summit in Alberta next week. The move is being seen as part of Mr. Carney's push to diversify trade away from the United States, and it marks a shift in Canada's relationship with India. Ties have been strained since the former leader Justin Trudeau accused India of carrying out the killing of a Sikh separatist leader on Canadian soil. 5 leaders of the far-right group, the Proud Boys, who were convicted in connection with the January 6th Capitol riot, are suing the US government for $100 million. All of them were pardoned or had their sentences commuted by President Donald Trump earlier this year. The lawsuit, filed in Florida earlier today, claims that FBI agents and prosecutors violated their constitutional rights and were motivated by personal biases in handling their cases. The Justice Department has not yet responded to the lawsuit. Police have moved against an international drug gang in the Canary Islands, seizing nearly 4 tons of cocaine and making 48 arrests. The gang had used speedboats to traffic drugs from Brazil and Colombia to Europe. Police from across Europe, South America and the US joined forces for Operation Black Shadow, described as a major crackdown on one of the largest criminal organizations involved in cocaine trafficking. Well, before we go, we just want to take you to Saudi Arabia. We can bring you these live pictures that we've got coming in. This is the site at Mecca, where we know that this year around 1.5 million Muslim pilgrims have made the journey, where they will be performing, of course, Hajj. This is Kaaba, the holiest shrine in Islam, and of course today, the first day of Eid. I'll have more for you at the top of the hour. Join me then.
The actor and activist Arnold Schwarzenegger has told the BBC that people should stop whining about President Trump's approach to climate change. He's been speaking to Laura Kuenssberg in Vienna. Mr. Schwarzenegger said the White House couldn't prevent change, and a warning: this report contains flashing images.
Ladies and gentlemen, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Arnie doesn't do anything by halves. Not just lifting weights, but blitzing the competition. Not just acting, but movies making billions at the box office. And as a campaigner, never taking no for an answer. After decades of environmental activism, he has a blunt message for those bemoaning the attitude of Donald Trump. He's reversed many green measures and pulled out of international agreements on climate change.
And I tell them, I said, hey, stop whining. What do? I said, we all have a responsibility. What do you think, the action comes only for the whole world out of Washington, the White House? No. I said, most of the action is happening on a local level and on a state level.
So people should just ignore Donald Trump then when he talks about the environment?
I wouldn't say ignore it. I think you can be aware of it. You have to be aware of your obstacles, but you should not go and use them as an excuse, is my point. You know, you got to go all out. Do I have a vision? I mean, imagine that when I was 15 years old, my vision was to go to America and to be a bodybuilding champion and to get into acting and to do big movies, Hollywood movies. What do you think the obstacles there were? Endless amount of obstacles. And it was very difficult. It was a grind. So did I surrender? Did I go and whine? No. I just said, okay, here are the obstacles. This is what I have to overcome. And I made it.
Schwarzenegger is no fan of Donald Trump. But he doesn't want his own environmental cause to stall because of shifting winds. But hard times, including in the UK, have seen appetite to take action on the environment fade. Laura Kunsberg, BBC News.
Just 2 days after resigning as Reform UK's chairman, Zia Yusuf says he's returning to the party in a new role. At least 3 people are dead after a massive Russian attack on Ukraine's second biggest city. Gaza's civil defense agency says at least 6 were killed, several wounded at the US-backed aid center in southern Gaza. Meanwhile, the aid organization has said it is halting operations following a direct threat from Hamas. Elon Musk deletes a social media post alleging Donald Trump is mentioned in unpublished files about Jeffrey Epstein. And thousands enjoy a marine-themed drone show in Nice ahead of the UN Ocean Conference next week, as Sir David Attenborough says he's appalled by the damage done to oceans.
What we have done to the deep ocean floor is just unspeakably awful.